something that was sort of touched on by you in particular, Niall, and a bit you as well, Ashton, was this idea that actually our planet is in trouble. Climate change and you know, man-made difficulties may mean that we have to leave our planet. And the worry that I have for that is that it means that we kind of have this attitude that somehow technology will always save us. So we can sort of ruin a planet, but we can just go to another one and then maybe ruin that and then just sort of become this parasitic race, which isn't something that I particularly would want to be a part of. And I wondered what you thought about that, you know, the potential issues around saying to people, it's all going to be okay because we can go somewhere else.
Well, I wouldn't say it's so much that we expect technology to save us. I would say that humans don't really want to die, and as a result of that, we will use any means possible, which is most likely technology nowadays, to save us. I mean, I don't mean to disassemble your question.
Yeah. No, I don't think you did. And Ashton, do you, because again, you said exactly that, you wouldn't want us to go somewhere else and then create the same problems. How do you think we avoid that?
We sort of need to, what I said about getting the communities together to talk about these sort of things and being able to develop a way where, like, we're using like eco-friendly fuels and stuff, like subjects like that, to be able to help enhance us, but also not kill the planet at the same time. So dealing with those issues of not turning another planet into global warming again.
So sort of an education thing about just getting people talking about it more.
Yeah.
And we talked as well about you know, the fact that there are other applications as well that come out of our space research and space travel. And you said about Tim Peake's going to be doing, you know, several hundred experiments up there. What other kind of stuff is he going to be doing apart from the stuff with the robot, controlling the robot?
He's going to be doing, I can't remember all the exact ones, but he's going to be doing a lot about how humans can live in microgravity and how the body reacts and how your skeleton is affected, how your blood's affected, those types of things as well. So, I mean, they're all the astronauts up on ISS are all monitored up there the whole time. So it's kind of, you learn about humans on Earth and doing experiments in different environments like microgravity.
And what's the ambition of those guys on the ISS? Are they up there preparing for when we colonise another planet or where we go and visit another planet? Is that the end game?
Yeah, I think it is about getting used to going further and longer. You know, because Mars is the target. Target's not the word to use, is it?
Yeah.
Says a lot.
You've used it.
Destination.
Yeah.
Destination.
Yeah.
Mars is the destination.
Yeah. You're about to reach your target, London Waterloo.
So we're trying to get there. So it's about how humans can survive longer and through those journeys, and also about growing, trying to grow things up in space. So he's taking a lot of rocket seeds that then are going to be given out to schools when he comes back to see if you know, space and all those problems that go with that affect how the seeds grow and stuff. So it's I do think for NASA especially and the ESA, it's all about going further and seeing how far we can go.
And is there a worry of you know, the haves and have-nots that you mentioned, Ashton, whereby space travel is unlikely in the near future, at least, to be available to anyone but the mega rich?
Definitely, yeah. Until it starts becoming capitalised, you know, until people start making money from it, it is just going to be for the mega rich. But that's the same with every massive technological advancement.
And so, do you confidently feel that everyone will have an opportunity to go into space X number of years in the future?
X number of years in the future, definitely, because I mean, we're doing it now and we're trying to go into it now. It's just waiting game now, really.
How long do you reckon?
Oh God. I would guess 200 years, just completely spitballing that though.
So 200 years is sooner than I thought you were going to say, actually.
We'll do it in 180.
Just give us the money. I mean, when you think about it, 50 years we've come from just a select few doing it to private companies now sending people up. So, I think 200 years is probably relatively conservative, I reckon.
I think one of the things we're quite excited about space as well is that it's people working together now. You think at the start, and you've been to the Cosmonauts exhibition up at the Science Museum, and it was that space race. It was two countries competing, and now you've got space agencies. Everyone works together. The space station is, international space station. So people pulling together, just nice thing to happen anyway. But it's going to make it quicker.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people say that the space exploration is one of the few sort of non-political things. So it doesn't matter what's going on between the USA and Russia. It's just business as usual. They're still working together to send astronauts up. So, I mean, that's one sort of minor positive in the whole sort of bigger picture of it all.
Yeah, do you think they'd all play nice if they got to Mars together?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, gentleman here.
I just wondered what the speakers thought of the kind of the small irony in the amount of money spent looking for water on Mars, and yet the inability to provide drinking water for large parts of developing countries.
So, effectively, would the money be better spent elsewhere? No?
Well, one thing I always think when people say, oh, why spend money going to look for water on Mars? You could be, doing that. Is that a physicist is not very good at, figuring out water for, wherever it needs water. He's not an economist. He's interested in space. It's not like science is one big thing that works on one problem. It's just a bunch of people who are seeing what they're interested in and exploring that. So it's too fragmented to say that, really.
And I'm basing this on not knowing the entire facts, but
We all are.
So take this with a pinch of salt. I would guess that the water filtration system that Bill Gates has helped fund to be used in developing nations was probably uses similar technology to the water filtration process that's up on ISS. I would guess there's some crossover. I don't think that's too much of a leap. So they are kind of interconnected.
I assume that
Although that is not based on fact.
No, absolutely. And we wouldn't want it to be. Yes, David, who's going to be another speaker later on.
Should we be prioritising putting humans into space to do this exploration with all the costs and risks involved, or wouldn't it be more practical to send robots up into space to do this initial science experiments on Mars and asteroids, and then humans, if you like, we can plug them into VR systems so they can be in tanks in the Earth and having the experience of being in space for much less cost, much more accessibility to many more people. So can't we use technology to get a better result all around?
That's probably the way it's going.
Yeah.
I think that's, with the haptic robots, I think that's definitely what people are thinking. It's one of those things with technology. I think generally it's not always, it's never where you want it to be. Because by the time we have, an iPad, we can imagine the next leap, and so you're always kind of a little bit behind. So just sometimes be happy with what you got.
Very philosophical stuff. If there was a situation like that, so we have robots roaming around space, and then we're able to create these kind of conditions whereby through virtual reality the public can experience what it's like to be in space. Would you find, would that satisfy your kind of curiosity and the kind of your almost like romanticised interest in space, or would you still feel like you actually wanted to go up there yourself? Ashton?
I think it would definitely make me more curious about it. It would intrigue me to try it out and see what it's like before actually going up. So.
But you would still want to actually experience it.
But even if I couldn't, then it's the interest in it to be able to create that for the next generation, to be able to further into getting out into space. So.
Because I imagine that currently we can do fairly good simulations of space on Earth, but I don't feel like that's going to scratch the itch that someone like Ashton has to, explore space. Which is a quite sort of mundane way of phrasing it. I realise. Any other questions? Yeah, lady down the front here. Yeah.
If we go to Mars, if we do find water, saying that Doctor Who's not going to happen and that the water's not going to eat people, are we just going to keep on?
Fingers crossed.
I'm even wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt. Are we just going to keep hopping to each planet looking for water instead of just inching away from our carnivorous sun?
Well, I watched a documentary about a farmer who became an astronaut to find a new... has anyone else seen that? No? It turns out fine.
No, I think earlier we were saying how we don't want to become a parasite race any more than we already are. Just be happy with what you got. But I think I really think there's an element.
I think you've gone too highbrow with this.
I think there's an element that we're humans. We know that we learn from our mistakes, and that's what kind of scientific endeavour is. You try something, it doesn't quite work. You fix what problems you can. So I like to think that if we go to a different planet, we know not to, frack the hell out of it. And to try and keep it together, I think. And if people like Ashton are in charge, I'm very happy with that. I think he's got a good ideas.
Yeah. Niall?
I don't think we're going. I mean, I don't mean to, but I don't think we're going to Mars to live there. I think actually colonising Mars and making it a viable place to live is very, very far away. For loads of different reasons. I think we're mostly going to Mars just having a look what's there, you know what I mean? Like, having a poke around, if you will.
Yeah, just nosy.
Yeah, just kind of nosy, yeah, literally. Yeah, hopefully not.
No, yeah, we'll send the cats first, definitely.
Yeah, and the robots.
Callum.
Niall, I'd like to offer you a killer argument to support your case, which is nuclear weapons. We've so far had 6 near misses, 6 occasions when we nearly blew the entire planet up. And most people only know about the Cuban Missile Crisis. There are 5 others. The worst thing that as humans we could possibly do is wipe ourselves out entirely, extinction. That's the worst thing we could possibly do. We've nearly done it 6 times. The only way to make sure we don't do it on the 7th near miss is to be multiplanetary.
Yeah.
I think we do need to go and live on Mars.
Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
Really?
I love the fact that what is the conclusion of our discussion about whether we should explore space is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Amazing. It's really, yeah, it's some highbrow stuff here. That is the end of our space session. Another big round of applause for John Sam, Punk Science, Ashton and Niall.